there, and welcome back to Prime Wealth. Today, we're diving into something that affects all of us, no matter where we are in our financial journey. Those money habits we pick up along the way.
Absolutely, Jordan. It's fascinating how the choices we make in our 20s, 30s, and even 40s can shape our financial futures.
Right? I mean, whether it's saving, investing, or just spending, those habits can really set the tone for long-term financial security.
Exactly. And what's great is that it's never too late to develop better habits. We'll explore practical strategies that anyone can implement, regardless of their age.
We'll also touch on how to identify which money habits you might want to change, and how to build a solid foundation for your financial future.
That's key. Plus, we'll share some relatable stories and insights that can help you see these concepts in action.
So if you've ever felt overwhelmed by your finances or just want to take control of your money habits, this episode is for you.
Let's get started. It's all about understanding where you are now, and then taking those small steps towards improvement.
Yeah, and we'll kick things off by discussing the foundational habits that can set you on the right path no matter what your age.
Let's dive in.
You know, Alex, when we look at people over 40, it really hits home how crucial it is to develop solid money habits earlier in life.
Absolutely, Jordan. I mean, by this stage, many folks are starting to think seriously about retirement, and that clock is ticking, right?
Exactly. And with inflation creeping up, it's not just about what you have saved. It's about how well those savings can hold up against rising costs.
Right. It's almost like a double-edged sword. You want to enjoy your life now, but you also have to think about the future. And sometimes that can create this emotional tug-of-war.
Yeah, I've heard from listeners who feel overwhelmed by all the financial responsibilities they have. They're managing mortgages, kids, education, maybe even caring for aging parents.
That's a lot on their plates. And the reality is, if you haven't built good financial habits by now, those responsibilities can feel even heavier.
For sure. I read somewhere that about 40% of Americans don't have enough saved for retirement, and many people in their 40s are staring down that statistic.
That's a staggering number, and it really emphasizes the importance of starting good financial habits like budgeting and saving earlier rather than later.
Right. Think about it. Every year that goes by without a solid plan can mean less time for your money to grow.
Exactly. And for those in their 40s who are potentially nearing peak earning years, it's vital to make the most of that income. It's not just about saving, but also about investing wisely.
And let's not forget about the emotional side of it. Financial stress can really impact your day-to-day life.
Oh, totally. There's that saying, money can't buy happiness, but financial security definitely contributes to peace of mind.
And when you're feeling secure, you can be more present with your family, enjoy your hobbies, all that good stuff. It's all interconnected.
You know, I've seen so many clients who, once they get their finances in order, suddenly feel a weight lifted off their shoulders. They become much more engaged in life.
That's so true. Let's say someone in their 40s finally tackles that long-ignored budget. They might realize they have more discretionary income than they thought.
Exactly. And they can then redirect that money into savings or investments. It's all about creating a mindset where they feel empowered rather than overwhelmed.
And with the recent economic trends, like market fluctuations and rising interest rates, it's even more important for anyone over 40 to be proactive.
Yes, those trends can significantly affect retirement planning. If you're not adjusting your strategy as conditions change, you might find yourself in a tough spot down the road.
You know, it's almost like we're in this perpetual balancing act. You have to think about your immediate needs while also keeping an eye on your long-term goals.
And it's easy to lose sight when life gets busy. But making small, consistent changes can really add up over time.
It's like that old adage, a journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. Sometimes, the smallest steps can lead to significant changes.
Exactly. And for those who might be feeling behind, it's never too late to start. The sooner you begin, the more options you'll have later on.
And it's important to remember that your financial journey is unique. What works for one person may not work for another.
That's a great point. Personal finance isn't one size fits all. Everyone has different goals, dreams, and challenges.
So true. And those differing circumstances can really shape how you approach your finances in these life stages.
For instance, Someone in their early 40s might be focusing on saving for their children's college while also trying to build their retirement fund.
Right, and then you have someone in their late 40s who might be more focused on paying off their mortgage or maximizing their 401k contributions.
Exactly. It all comes down to understanding your priorities and developing a plan that aligns with them.
And this is where those habits come into play. Developing a consistent saving and investing strategy can make a huge difference.
Yes, and it can also help mitigate some of those emotional stresses we talked about earlier. Knowing you're on a path can foster a sense of security.
And let's not forget about the power of community and seeking advice. Whether it's joining a support group or having a financial advisor, having a network can be beneficial.
For sure. Surrounding yourself with like-minded individuals can keep you motivated and accountable.
So building these habits is not just about the numbers. It's about creating a lifestyle that promotes financial wellness.
Exactly. And the good news is that there are practical steps anyone can take, regardless of where they are in their financial journey.
Yeah, so whether you're just starting to think about retirement or you're already in the thick of it, there are strategies to help you navigate this stage of life.
And that's what makes this so exciting. There's always room for improvement, no matter your age.
So as we dive into some core strategies for building those money habits, keep in mind that it's about finding what works for you and your unique situation. So Alex, let's dive into some core strategies and rules of thumb that can really help listeners in their 20s, 30s, and 40s build those solid money habits.
Absolutely, Jordan. One of the first things I'd suggest is setting up a budget. It might sound basic, but having a clear understanding of your income and expenses is foundational.
Right, and a budget doesn't have to be overly complicated. It can simply be a list of what comes in and what goes out each month, right?
Exactly. You can use apps like Mint or YNAB or just a simple spreadsheet. The key is to categorize your expenses, like housing, groceries, and entertainment, and see where your money is really going.
And once you have that picture, you can start identifying areas where you might be overspending.
Yes, and I recommend the 50/30/20th rule. It's a straightforward guideline. 50% of your income goes to needs, 30% to wants, and 20% to savings or debt repayment.
That's a great framework. So, if someone earns $5,000 a month, they should aim to spend $2, $500 on needs, $1, $500 on wants, and $1,000 on savings?
Exactly. And remember, this is a guideline, not a strict rule. You might adjust it depending on your personal circumstances.
That makes sense. And speaking of savings, how should listeners approach that?
Well, I always say, pay yourself first. Before you pay any bills or make any purchases, set aside a certain percentage of your income for savings.
So like automating savings?
Exactly. Set up an automatic transfer to a savings account as soon as you get paid. This way, you won't even miss that money because it's out of sight and out of mind.
Love that idea. And what about an emergency fund?
Yes, building an emergency fund should be a priority. Aim for 3 to 6 months worth of living expenses. This gives you a safety net for unexpected expenses like car repairs or medical bills.
And once that's established, what should come next?
After your emergency fund, focus on paying off high-interest debt. Credit card debt, for example, can really eat into your budget with those interest rates.
So the snowball versus avalanche method.
Right. The snowball method focuses on paying off the smallest debts first to build momentum, while the avalanche method prioritizes high-interest debts to save money in the long run.
Do you have a preference between the two?
It really depends on the person. If you need that quick win to stay motivated, go with the snowball. But if you're more focused on saving money over time, the avalanche is the way to go.
That makes perfect sense. And once debt is under control, what's the next step toward financial security?
Investing. Many people think of investing as something only the wealthy do, but it's essential for anyone looking to build wealth.
I know you always emphasize starting early.
Yes, time is your best friend when it comes to investing. Even small amounts can grow significantly over time due to compound interest.
So if someone starts investing just $100 a month at a young age, that could add up to a substantial amount later on.
Exactly. And consider using tax-advantaged accounts like a 401k or an IRA. These can help your money grow without being taxed until you withdraw it.
And if your employer offers a match on your 401k, that's essentially free money, right?
You got it. Always take advantage of any employer match. It's like getting a raise without doing anything extra.
And what about diversification? That seems to be a big buzzword in investing.
Yes, diversification is crucial. It means spreading your investments across different asset classes, like stocks, bonds, and real estate, to minimize risk.
So if one area underperforms, your entire portfolio isn't negatively affected?
Exactly. You don't want all your eggs in one basket. A well-diversified portfolio can help you weather market fluctuations more effectively.
And let's not forget about reviewing your financial goals regularly.
Yes, that's vital. Life changes, and so should your financial plan. Set aside time at least once a year to review your budget, savings, and investment strategy.
And if someone starts feeling overwhelmed with all this information, what should they do?
It's okay to seek help. A financial advisor can provide personalized guidance and help you create a plan that fits your unique situation.
That's reassuring. And I think a lot of listeners might feel they don't know enough to make those decisions on their own.
Absolutely. But remember, everyone starts somewhere. Just take it one step at a time and don't hesitate to reach out for help.
So we've covered budgeting, saving, debt management, and investing. What are some common pitfalls people might face along this journey?
Oh, there are quite a few. It's easy to become discouraged if you don't see immediate results, or to fall into the trap of lifestyle inflation as your income grows.
That's a great point. And sometimes people can get caught up in comparing themselves to others, which can lead to poor financial decisions.
Exactly. It's about focusing on your own journey. So let's dive into those pitfalls and how to avoid them.
You know, Alex, as we talk about money habits across different life stages, it's important to shine a light on some of the common pitfalls people often fall into.
Absolutely, Jordan. It can be really eye-opening to see how certain mistakes can impact financial security later on. I mean, let's face it, we've all made our share of financial missteps, right?
For sure. One of the biggest mistakes I see is living beyond one's means, especially in your 20s and 30s. People often feel pressure to keep up with friends or social norms.
Exactly. It starts with a new car or that fancy apartment, and before you know it, you're juggling debt just to maintain a lifestyle that might not even be sustainable.
Right. And then there's the trap of credit card debt. I've heard stories of people charging everything to their cards without really tracking their spending.
That's a classic pitfall. Interest rates can be brutal. If you're only making the minimum payments, you could end up paying way more than what you originally charged.
Yeah, and it's often a slippery slope. I remember a friend who thought it was okay to use credit for everyday expenses, like groceries or coffee, and then suddenly, she found herself in over her head.
It sneaks up on you, doesn't it? Not realizing how quickly those small purchases add up can be a real wake-up call.
And sometimes, it's not just the credit cards. I mean, think about student loans. Many people take on more debt than they can handle because they don't fully understand the long-term implications.
Exactly. Student loans can feel like a necessary evil, but if you're not careful, they can overshadow your financial future. Knowing the terms and having a solid repayment plan is crucial.
Speaking of which, I think another common mistake is not having an emergency fund. I mean, life happens, right? Unexpected expenses can throw anyone off.
That's so true. Without an emergency fund, people might end up relying on credit cards again when something unexpected comes up. It's like a vicious cycle.
And then there's the issue of not investing early enough. I hear people say, I'll start saving for retirement later, but that can be a costly mindset.
Right. The earlier you start, the more time your money has to grow. I know it can feel overwhelming, but even small contributions can make a difference over time.
Absolutely. But then there are also those who dive into investing without doing their homework. I've seen people get swept up in trends or hot stocks, thinking they're going to get rich quick.
That's a risky game. It can lead to significant losses if you're not careful. It's essential to research and understand what you're investing in, rather than just following the crowd.
And let's not forget about insurance. Many people overlook the importance of having the right coverage, whether it's health, life, or property.
Yes. Underestimating the need for insurance can lead to financial devastation if something goes wrong. It's all about protecting yourself and your assets.
So how can someone recognize these danger signs, Alex, like what should they be looking for?
Well, if you're consistently living paycheck to paycheck or feeling stressed about money, those are red flags. Also, if you find yourself relying heavily on credit just to make ends meet, that's definitely a warning sign.
That makes sense. Another indicator might be if you're avoiding checking your bank statements or not knowing your actual financial situation.
Exactly. Ignoring your financial reality won't make it go away. It's important to face it head on, even if it feels uncomfortable at first.
And I think it's crucial to have open conversations about money with friends or family. Sometimes, just sharing experiences can shed light on what's working and what's not.
Very true. It can be surprising how many people are willing to share their own mistakes and lessons learned. It creates a supportive environment where everyone can grow.
So, if someone recognizes they've made some of these mistakes, what can they do to get back on track?
The first step is to assess your current situation. Take a good look at your income, expenses, and debts. Once you have a clear picture, you can start making a plan.
And I assume that includes creating a budget, right?
Absolutely. A budget helps you prioritize your spending and ensures you're allocating money towards savings and debt repayment.
Plus, it can help you cut back on unnecessary expenses. I mean, sometimes we don't even realize how much we're spending on things we don't need.
Exactly. You'd be surprised at how small changes can add up over time. Maybe it's cutting back on dining out or canceling subscriptions you rarely use.
And getting serious about building that emergency fund is key too. Even if it's just a small amount each month, it's a step in the right direction.
Yes, aim for at least 3 to 6 months worth of expenses. It sounds like a lot, but starting small can make it more manageable.
And then, of course, investing should be part of the conversation. Even if you start with a small amount, getting into the habit early can pay off significantly later.
Definitely look into retirement accounts like a 401k or an IRA. They offer tax advantages that can really help your savings grow.
So those are some immediate steps you can take. Now let's bring everything together in the outro. So let's dive into some practical steps that our listeners can take right away. You know, the kind of things that can really help them build those solid money habits.
Absolutely, Jordan. It's all about starting small and being consistent. One of the simplest things to do is to track your expenses. I mean, really know where your money is going each month.
Right. There are so many apps out there like Mint or YNAB that can help with that. They make it easy to categorize your spending and see patterns over time.
Exactly. And once you have that visibility, you can start making informed decisions. Like, maybe you notice you're spending a lot on takeout. That could be a signal to try cooking at home more often, right?
Totally. It's about finding those little areas where you can cut back without feeling deprived. What do you think about setting specific savings goals?
Oh, that's a great point. Setting goals gives your saving a purpose, whether it's a vacation, a new car, or even building an emergency fund.
And it doesn't have to be a huge amount. You can start with just $20 a week. And over time, that really adds up.
Yes. And I'd suggest automating those savings too. Set up an automatic transfer from your checking to your savings account right after payday. It's like paying yourself first.
That's smart. It takes the temptation out of spending that money. And speaking of automation, what about retirement accounts?
Definitely. If you're in your 40s and haven't started yet, it's crucial to get on that. Contributing to a 401k or an IRA can really boost your financial future, especially if your employer matches contributions.
Right. That's free money, essentially. And if you're self-employed or your employer doesn't offer a 401k, an IRA is still a fantastic option.
And when it comes to investing, starting with something like low-cost index funds is often a solid choice. They're generally more stable over time and can help you build wealth without needing to be an expert.
Yeah, and I think it's important to emphasize that you don't need a ton of money to start investing. You can begin with just a small amount, and many platforms allow you to buy fractional shares now.
Exactly. It's about getting your foot in the door. And don't forget to educate yourself along the way. There are great books out there, like The Total Money Makeover by Dave Ramsey, or The Simple Path to Wealth by J.L. Collins.
Those are excellent recommendations. And what about budgeting? Do you have any tips on that?
Sure thing. I think the 50/30/20 rule is a straightforward approach. You allocate 50% of your income to needs, 30% to wants, and 20% to savings and debt repayment. It's a great framework to start with.
That sounds manageable, and it allows for some flexibility too. If you find you're spending more in one category, you can adjust elsewhere.
Exactly. And remember, budgeting isn't about restriction, but rather making choices that align with your goals.
Right. And speaking of choices, what about habits? What daily or weekly habits can someone start building now?
I'd suggest starting with a money mindset shift. Set aside time each week to review your finances, reflect on your spending, and adjust your goals if needed. It's all about being aware.
That makes a lot of sense. Regular check-ins can really keep you accountable. And what about finding a community or support system?
Yes, joining a financial group or even just discussing your goals with friends can be incredibly motivating. It helps to share experiences and learn from each other.
That's a great idea. And if you don't have friends who are into personal finance, there are online communities too. Reddit, Facebook groups, you name it.
Exactly. So whether it's online or in person, surrounding yourself with like-minded people can make a big difference.
And let's not forget the importance of celebrating small wins. If you hit a savings target or stick to your budget for a month, treat yourself.
Yes, that's key. It reinforces those positive habits. And remember, it's a journey. Progress takes time, but each small step counts.
So true. And one last thing I'd add is to keep learning. Whether it's through podcasts, books, or courses, there's always something new to discover.
Definitely. The more knowledgeable you are, the more empowered you'll feel to make decisions that are right for you.
And that's what it's all about, right? Building that confidence to take control of your finances and your future.
Well said. So those are some immediate steps you can take. Now let's bring everything together. So as we look back on what we discussed, a few key takeaways really stand out, right?
Absolutely. First off, establishing a solid budget is crucial, no matter what stage of life you're in. It gives you control over your money and helps you prioritize your goals.
Exactly. And then there's the importance of building an emergency fund. Having that safety net can really ease financial stress, especially as life throws unexpected challenges your way.
And don't forget about investing early. Even small amounts can grow significantly over time. It's all about letting compound interest work its magic.
Right. And we also talked about the value of continuous learning and adapting your financial strategies as you age. Staying informed is key to making smart decisions.
Yeah, it's never too late to start. And remember, it's all about progress, not perfection. Every little step counts towards your financial freedom.
Well said, Jordan. So if you found this episode helpful, we'd love for you to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments. And if you know someone who's navigating their finances in their 40s, send this their way.
And next time, we're diving into a topic that touches so many lives, couples and money. We'll explore how to manage joint finances effectively, which can be a game changer for relationships.
That's going to be a great discussion, so make sure to tune in for that.
Until next time, remember that every financial journey is unique, and it's never too late to take charge of your money.
Take care, everyone. We're rooting for you.